So great catching up with my next guest. He's going to be back in action this Saturday, going to be taking on Jarome Hatch at North Iowa Fights. It is Zak Ottow back here on the program. Zach, how's it going, man?
Doing great. Good to talk to you again, James.
Good to talk to you as well. So the first thing that jumped out to me about this fight is that it's a 195-pound catchweight fight. Was this on your end? Why the catchweight here? Because you used to fight at welterweight in the UFC.
Yeah, I wanted to make the move up to middleweight after my last contract expired and coming off the knee injury, getting a little older. I wanted to go back to where I started at 185, and I just feel like I do a lot better at that weight class. I felt like trying to get to the UFC, I thought I had to cut all this weight, and I just don't think it was that good for me. So I'm going back up to 185, feeling great when I do that. It just so happened that this one was a larger catchweight because of just the opponent, and we just, I don't know, I guess mutually decided let's not cut so much weight down to 185 even. Let's just do it, closer to maybe where we walk around. I walk around at like 205, 207. So getting down to 170 was brutal. But 185 is, I think, really good for me. 195, let's do it.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. We're going to get a better fight this way, right? If you got two guys who aren't killing themselves cutting weight. So I think that's great that both of you sort of came to that agreement. How has it been since leaving the UFC and trying to get fights? I see you've had, one fight already. Has it been difficult, or how have things been life after the UFC?
Yeah, it's been very difficult getting fights. And then, COVID didn't help. Of course, there was just not a lot of events going on. Luckily, Mike Goodwin down in Iowa was able to get me a fight last November. My first one back in a while. And then I had another fight scheduled in March, but that fell through like the week of. So I'm just super excited to get back in. And, sometimes I think early in your career, you take it for granted, like when all these fights are rolling in. And now as I'm getting older and, I'm wondering how much time I have left. It's like, I'm really thankful for every fight opportunity that I get.
Let's talk about your opponent here, Jarome Hatch. He's like 25-15, a ton of experience here. So you're fighting a pretty well savvy veteran in this one. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I know. I mean, he's a banger. He's tough. He's had a lot of fights, a lot of experience. So I think it's going to be a great fight, great for the fans. I think wherever I want to take the fight, I can win this one. But I want to make it exciting for the fans, and I want to get another good finish.
Training partners. I know you have a couple heavier guys at the gym. Tim Hiley comes to mind. I don't know if Alton Cunningham's in or out. I know he kind of retired, but who are you getting to work with mainly for this camp?
Yeah, Nick Klein. He's a beast coming up. Definitely my hardest rounds in the gym. He's a killer. And then Dylan Diebitz and Wes Schultz, two amateurs that were like All-Americans in college wrestling that are coming up, and they're just killing everybody on the amateur circuit, but gaining that experience before they go pro. So we got, all those guys fight at 185, and they're all UFC potential. So, I'm getting plenty of good work in up at that weight class. And then, of course, our team is filled all the way down the line. If welterweights to 205ers and everything in between. So, yep.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Jake and Solo.
Oh, cool. Okay, good. Yeah, usual cast of characters. I wasn't sure if you switched things up for this one, but that makes sense. How do you see the fight playing out on Saturday? Obviously, I feel like you're going to win, but how do you envision the fight playing out?
I feel like I have a much deeper gas tank, and I feel like I want it more. So I plan on just going in there and banging with him until he gets tired, and then I take him out.
Obviously, that'll be 2 straight wins for you here. What's next after this? I know you're not looking past Saturday, but do you have sort of in your mind, is it just continue to get fights in the regional scene? Do you want to go to a bigger promotion? Like, what are sort of your short-term goals looking ahead here for the rest of the year?
Yeah, my goal is definitely to get back in the UFC at 185. I feel like that's the weight class I should have been at this whole time. So I want to go there and just see what my full potential is. So going to win this one. We'll see what happens. That'll be a little win streak for me against guys with good winning records. And I'm just going to keep fighting those guys and tearing up the whole regional level. And once I get ranked number 1 in the US at 185 with my management team, I feel like I can get back in. So.
And that's the key thing there is your management team. I mean, I don't know, I'd love to see the stats on it, but I think they put more fighters in the UFC than anyone. Has there been sort of an open dialogue between the UFC since you've left? Just, the fact that you picked up that win and the fact you're fighting this weekend? Because I know they like to keep tabs on that, especially for short notice opportunities.
Yeah, a win streak is definitely what they're looking for against tough opponents. So this guy's a tough opponent, and we'll get that win streak together.
Zach, great catching up with you, man. I'm excited to see you back in action, especially at 195. This is so crazy. You used to fight at 170. You're like the Anthony Rumble Johnson of the North Iowa Fights promotion. But everyone's got to check it out on Spectation Sports. And anything you want to plug, any sponsors, any social media, anything like that, I'll give you the last word.
Rev Gear, thank you very much for everything they do for us. And just the gym, Pura Vida BJJ and MMA in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're still rising. We got a lot of fights coming up in the UFC, cornering guys the next couple months. So should be a fun end of summer.